The case I'll be modifying is the Corsair 400R that I designed for Corsair in 2010. Here's a close look at the concept art for our Fallout themed PC. The aesthetic is very 1950s Vault-Tec industrial. The first mod on our menu is to get rid of this old FireWire and update the I/O on the 400R because it is a decade old. And while we're focusing on the front of the case, I'm also going to create this steel mesh grille that fits into our Vault-Tec industrial aesthetic. I'm also doing another run of the Vault-Tec door PC fan grills that I did a while back as a limited edition for this PC mod. I've listed the extra ones from the batch I've made in MMPC Tech's PC mod shop. Back to the I/O panel mod. By the way, the I/O panel is from the new Corsair 5000 series case. I'm cutting the ends off and attaching 1/16 thick shims on either side so this new I/O panel mounts perfectly into the 400R case. Our first hardware drop is this Nixie clock all the way from the Ukraine, and this will be mounted in the 5 1/4 bay above the toggle switches in the front of our Fallout PC. I remember you could get a Wakemaster Nixie clock from the Atomic Shop in Fallout 76. This 7-inch LCD screen will be mounted inside the Fallout PC, so let's cut a large vertical window into the left side panel so I have a nice good view of this LCD screen. I mask off the side panel with tape, then I grab my safety glasses, Dremel with a cutting wheel, and jigsaw 18 TPI bimetal cutting blade to speed up the job. The next step is cutting a clear window from clear cast acrylic. I use cast acrylic because extruded acrylic melts as you cut it. It's a pain in the ass. Stick to cast acrylic, it will make your PC mod projects much easier. Next up on our mod menu, I'm fabricating the conduit pipes on the right side of the Fallout PC. I'm using 3/8 inch diameter acrylic rods that I can heat up and bend. These will be painted to emulate steel conduit later. Common sight in the Fallout vault are these louvered air vents on miscellaneous electric equipment, and I'm adding these to the exterior of the Fallout PC. Once I'm finished with these and all the other case modifications, I'll break the case down for custom painting everything. The next stage in our Fallout PC case mod is the front grille, and I'm using round hole modders mesh. It's 22 gauge steel, so it's easy to cut with a tin snip, and it's pliable, so you can bend it over curved surfaces and use a rubber mallet to flatten it out. We're going to need to display our Nixie clock in the front of the PC. It will reside in one of the 5 1/4 bays in the front. And I bought this 5 1/4 bay drawer off Amazon, which is really slick. These bay drawers will allow you to add your own custom bay mods, and that's if your PC case even has optical drive bays. Our Vault-Tec case badge arrives from the machine shop, milled from 3/16 inch thick aluminum. I spray the badge and grill piece with a flat clear coat so it looks more steel-like, and I also start some preliminary weather effects on the front of the case. Weathering will get much more intense after I've painted all the case parts the Fallout Vault-Tec colors. Time to get into prepping our case for a properly detailed custom paint job. I break down every piece of the Corsair 400R chassis so it can be prepared for good adhesion for the primer coat and then our paint color applications. When you dismantle a PC case, you end up with a large variety of screws and miscellaneous loose stuff. For all my PC mods and builds, I keep these screws and other small parts organized in project trays. You can get stackable trays by Ernest on Amazon. Then I'll tape the name of the project on the tray so I can keep track of all these unique parts for each project I'm working on. Corvega. To break the chassis down to its individual pieces so we can paint it, you've got to remove these pesky pop rivets. Hey, and can you name a top tier PC case or two that utilize screws instead of rivets to fasten the chassis together? Post it in the comment. To remove these rivets, arm yourself with a power drill and an 1/8 inch size drill bit. Then, when your drill bit becomes a pop rivet kebab, you can use a plier to grab the old rivets and just yank them off. We'll be cooling the CPU with Corsair's H100i Elite CPU cooler with built-in LCD screen. I love being able to see the CPU temps display. That's pretty cool. You can also post pics or animated GIFs on it as well. Corsair 400R chassis is in pieces now. And check this out. To save expenses at the factory, Corsair had the chassis powder-coated black after it was assembled. Cheeky move, Corsair. This next hardware drop is a real time capsule. This is a fan controller from the Pentium 4 era. Looks like it's even got screw terminals, so I'll have to solder bare leads from the fans. But how can you not love the old school tactile analog shit? It's pretty cool, and it's a perfect fit for our Vaultec aesthetic. Now it's time to prep the case parts for paint. You need to give the surface really good adhesion before you apply the primer coat and then the color finishes. I always use medium grit Scotch-Brite pads. I put on gloves and scuff all the surfaces that will get painted, both metal and plastic parts. Then I clean the dust off the scuffed parts with a shop cloth and mineral spirits. Now all the pieces are ready for the primer coat. For the primer base coat, I'm using Rust-Oleum's 2X flat gray primer, and I'll let that cure for 24 hours after I've sprayed all the parts. Then I'll apply the color coats. And I'm using the Montana Gold spray paint that I've color matched to the Fallout blue and yellow. I noticed the nozzle on the Montana Gold Magic Blue paint was spitting. Here's how I clean the clogged nozzle. Grab the cap from any rattle can paint and pour in the mineral spirits that I used earlier into the cap. Submerge the cap for a few hours, then use a pin or a pop rivet to clean the nozzle with a rag. Now it sprays a mist without spitting. I let all of my painted parts cure for 48 hours, then I reassemble everything. I need new pop rivets to reassemble the chassis, and I chose these 1/8" size copper rivets from MN Tech. You can use any pop rivet gun, as they all come with a variety of inserts for the most popular rivet sizes. Insert the rivet head in the hole, squeeze the handle 2 or 3 times until the rivet pops. Here's what everything looks like reassembled. Very clean, but not for long. But what we need to do is break up the blue a bit, so I'm adding 2 horizontal lines, one at the top and one at the bottom with yellow paint. Oh, it's so pretty, and I love Fallout. Oh, but you know what? The world of Fallout isn't pretty. This is just our canvas for the nuclear annihilation that's going to occur next. We're going to show you how to create a wasteland patina finish on this fresh paint job. And thank you for everyone who's ordered the new GPU display stand from MN Tech. Why are you stashing away your old GPU when you can display it? These were and still are works of engineering art and great conversation pieces for your geek friends. So let's get into how I destroyed the finish and gave it more of a wasteland patina on our Fallout build. And here are my tools of modding destruction in order of use. Starting with number 1, a logging chain. And don't ask me where the fuck I got this from, as I don't remember. But these are great for quickly creating nicks and chips into our paint finish, and it's actually fun to use. Number 2 is a 6" or 4" grinder power tool with a wire brush attachment. And wear eye protection, please. I use this grinder to create large scuffed up and exposed metal areas on the case. Just imagine this case was either dropped off a truck or kicked around the wasteland. Number 3 is a Dremel or a rotary tool with a small wire brush attachment. Same purpose as the big grinder, but for smaller details like worn out paint around the PC power button reset and I/O ports on the front of the PC. Number 4 is silver aluminum automotive paint and a shredded bit of red Scotch-Brite pad. This is a great method for creating simulated exposed metal bits from the paint chipping or wearing over time, especially around high usage areas of the PC case. Number 5 is rust. And I use the DIY kit by Sophisticated Finishes. The first part is iron metallic surfacer. You just grab a grungy brush, apply this, and then apply the antiquing solution after and wait an hour for the magic to happen. And what all classic car collectors hate more than anything, rust appears. While things are getting rusty on the case, I focus on weathering the 2 Vaultec themed custom PC fan grills from MN Tech. These were milled from 1/2" thick 6061 aluminum and will reside on the left side of the case, right over the motherboard and GPU. Next stage is number 6, airbrushing dirty spots and shadows on our case to create more visual depth of our custom finish. To do the airbrushing on the Fallout case, I'm using a Master brand airbrush starter kit from Amazon with black acrylic paint. And what you do is just airbrush around areas of the case that you would expect to see a buildup of dirt and grime and maybe smoke fumes like they used an RTX 4090 and the power cable ignited. You get the idea. Finally, we come to the 7th and final stage. This is where we apply clear coat over our paint effects, and we need to seal in the airbrushed paint. I use Dead Flat by Rust-Oleum because glossy finish would be pretty fucking stupid on a wasteland patina. So let's stand back and look at the results of my tools of modding destruction. And that is the order that I like to use, but hey, let me know in the comments what you like to do to weather and distress stuff. Maybe you've done some scale models or you've done some cosplay and you have tips to share. Please post them in the comments. And also, I appreciate everybody watching this series. Need any modding supplies? Go to my store at mnpctech.com and use the code FALLOUT for a discount. All right, everybody, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.